Hello everyone, and welcome to the Technics Digital Launch event. My name is Vladimir Belchuk. I'm the Communications Project Manager for Technics Europe. And sitting here with me today is Frank Balcovait, Product Manager of Technics Europe and member of the Technics Sound Committee, who is in charge of approving and checking the sound quality of all Technics products so they sound just as great as they look. Today, we want to present to you the 55th anniversary model of the SL-1210 GAE turntable. We would have presented this at High-End Show in Munich this spring, but we'll have to settle for this digital event, our first so far. And I hope that you'll enjoy it and you'll appreciate the communication we can have via the chat window to the right, where you can write your comments and your questions. And our team will try to answer live, and if not possible, we'll try to answer shortly after the event. So without further ado, I would like to hand it over to Frank to talk about the milestones of the Technics brand history, and specifically about the SL-1200 series and how it progressed until today. Frank, take it away.
Thank you very much, Vladimir, for your very warm welcome. Now, a very warm welcome also from my side, everyone here participating today. I am more than happy to explain about the details of our new star product, SL-1210 GAE. Now, before we go into the details, let's talk a bit about the history of this iconic, legendary turntable. The SL-1200 turntable series actually started in 1972. I was 4 years old then, very amazing. But even more amazing is when we look that this model was reworked in 1979. And while doing so, when this model came out, all knobs and buttons, all the array, even the pitch slider, tone arm, all these details then have been set in a way they are today. So the basic concept of the whole turntable didn't need it to be changed afterwards. And in the meantime, lots of professional users like DJs at radio stations and clubs, they have liked the model so much because it was so practical to work with it. Now, when Technics was relaunched in 2014, and even more, when we relaunched the first Technics turntable after the discontinuation in 2010, which was the 1200 GAE in 2016, we deliberately stayed with the whole design, because in the meantime it became so iconic, so there was no need to change it at all.
I have to say that I love the design. For me, the speed dots are some of the most iconic and eye-catching elements. I'm so happy we still have this, classical, understated design. I feel like, if it's so appreciated, you shouldn't change it. You should just go forward with it, wear it like a badge of pride. So this makes me incredibly happy. I'm happy Technics kept it. What is, though, very interesting, and I would say a premiere, is that for an anniversary model and a limited edition model, it's the first time where Technics doesn't just go at it alone. We're going in partnership with Nagaoka. We have a limited edition JT-1210 cartridge done by Nagaoka, which is only made for this turntable. And I wanted to ask you, how did this collaboration come to pass? How did it happen that Nagaoka and Technics decided to work together on this?
Well, basically, as said, Technics is celebrating its 55th anniversary in this year, 2020. So for our 55th anniversary, by the way, 55, that sounds kind of a lucky number, we wanted to do something really special. So in order to make this turntable even more special than just announcing another turntable, we decided to make it a full solution. So full solution with a turntable means we also need a pickup cartridge system to play back vinyls. And so we came to Nagaoka as a collaboration partner.
Excellent. So I take it that Nagaoka also has kind of the same genetics. It sounds Japanese. Oh, okay, I know a few things about Nagaoka already, but maybe we can explain a bit to our viewers. How does Nagaoka and Technics' history and drive for excellence come together, and how they have kind of the same ethos, and a product made by both of them would kind of hit the highlights of both brands. Maybe a few words about that before we dive into the product itself.
Absolutely. Well, Nagaoka hasn't been completely unknown to Technics before. Technics members and Nagaoka members before have met many times, for example, at international hi-fi shows. But also, there are similarities between both brands in any other way, because both brands are typically Japanese. Nagaoka is Tokyo-based, whereas Technics is Osaka-based. Now, both companies have an anniversary this year. Technics is celebrating its 55th anniversary, Nagaoka already their 80th anniversary, because the brand, Nagaoka, was actually founded in 1984. Well, Technics is basically synonymous for Japanese hi-fi innovation at its best, and Nagaoka became first very famous for their tooling on very hard-to-cut materials. That's the way they developed their business into being a manufacturer of very audiophile turntable pickup systems.
That's great, and I think that's a great insight into the history of Nagaoka, Frank. I think maybe we should let Mr. Itani, our chief engineer of Technics, intervene with a video and tell us a bit about the collaboration and how this came to pass. So, Mr. Itani, please take it away.
Hello everyone, my name is Tetsuya Itani, CTO and Chief Engineer for Technics. Thank you very much for joining us. I would like to say a few words about why we consider this limited edition model of the SL-1210 GAE together with Nagaoka to be such a great release for us. Both of our brands are very well known among hi-fi enthusiasts and specialists with great reputation of quality manufacturing, proud to be made in Japan. On our 55th anniversary, we wanted to celebrate with something special for you, our friends and fans. So we prepared 700 pieces of the best 1200 series turntable ever built. We put all of our hi-fi knowledge and experience behind these products, and I'm sure Frank-san will tell you all about this newest addition to the Technics family. I hope you will enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Itani, and thank you for your kind words. We will do exactly as that, and we will start talking more about the turntable now. So Frank, let's start from the outside in, and let's try breaking down the turntable for our viewers. Let's start with the design and the top plate, so to speak. What is the most remarkable things here? What are the things we should definitely pay attention to for this 1210 GAE?
Well, for the 1210 GAE, we have basically 4 specialties that are different from, let us say, a 1200G model. First of all, it is just what I call the black beauty. It's this meticulously manufactured black anodized top plate made of 10mm thick aluminium. And then, next, we thought of something really special, because we exactly knew when we come out with a 1200 series turntable, all potential users are, of course, expecting the stroboscope. But even more, maybe some people want to listen, especially in dimmed environment, without any disturbance. So we decided to give it a switch-off function, so it's just off while you can relax wonderfully to the music you are listening to.
Yeah, that sounds like an excellent evening with a glass of wine, maybe your favorite vinyl, and very dim mood lights. I think I'll give that a try soon.
That might be the perfect ambient, Vladimir. I mean, you're already whetting my appetite, to be fair.
Moving on, what do we have here? I mean, also can you tell me more about the pitch control here and some of the tone arm mechanism? What else should I be looking for outside of the stroboscope on and off?
Well, it's a typical 1200 series turntable. So let us maybe go on with the turntable platter. I best take the rubber off in order to explain better, because now the piece of art starts actually with this platter. So the center of this platter, this is an aluminium die cast. At the bottom, we have something like we call heavyweight rubber in order to back up the weight and in order to make it more resonance free. Now on top comes this 2 millimeter brass plate. Now, when we take off this platter, we can look at it and say it's a compound of 3 different layers with 3 different resonance frequency. Now actually, when you talk at it, it sounds almost like stone. So it's completely dead and free of resonance, which makes the tracking process absolutely perfect.
I see. So this is like the high-end aspect of it. You know, no resonance, no vibrations. It has to be very good at dampening these residual vibrations. So I suppose that's going to be a pattern that's going to go through the whole turntable, right?
Absolutely.
So then let's dive a bit deeper. You know, we can't actually see it here. It would be the motor, right? Actually, can we see it? Do you have anything handy to explain?
I have. Well, now it's even better to explain it on a living model. Yeah, like we have this motor here, and this motor, this is the masterpiece of the turntable. Sorry, because it was completely reworked from the former models. Now, this motor is called an iron coreless direct drive motor, which means we have taken the iron cores out of the stator.
Why would we take the iron cores out? What does that help?
Because actually on a simpler version, you need the iron cores inside in order to enhance the torque. But we can do without it because we have a twin rotor. The twin rotor enhances the torque again, but without the iron cores, the motor doesn't do that, what we call the cogging. So it already has by itself this perfectly smooth rotational motion.
I see. So that also means, you know, you track very smoothly all the vinyls, and it's just like the listening experience is more smooth, right?
Absolutely. That's one of the typical characteristics of a new 1200 series turntable. The absolute smooth rotation and the wonderful audiophile performance.
What's that on the back there? Because that is like, you explained it to me once, but I didn't actually understand. So maybe for our viewers, it would help who are more technically inclined than myself. Probably we can have a bit of an explanation.
Sure. As said, the rotational stability of the direct drive motor is perfect from itself. But in order to enhance rotational stability, we have actually used something that is building the bridge between analog turntable technology and digital technology, because this part called a hybrid encoder is actually coming out of Blu-ray players, where it is used in order to stabilize the disc's rotation. Now, whenever during the tracking process there is an unevenness, for example on the vinyl, which would disturb the perfect rotational stability, a counter voltage is generated here that completely evens up this disturbance. So the rotational stability stays absolutely smooth after all.
So basically, even if you have a vinyl that's not perfect, or is like a bit old, or was cut a bit poorly, but it's still your favorite, you know, album, you can play it and have a better audio experience thanks to this hybrid encoder, right?
Exactly like that.
That sounds like a great benefit for someone who's just like having these old albums they want to replay, you know, for the 100th time. So perfect touch. Now, all of this sits within the chassis, right? So you have the plate and the motor inside the chassis. What can you tell me more about this chassis? Does it follow the same direction with like vibration damping?
It's absolutely like that. I mean, as said at the platter, during the vinyl tracking process, the playing back free of any resonance, this is the top criterion. So now, when we look at the chassis is made of 4 different layers, also of different resonance frequencies, starting with what I call the backbone of the turntable. This is the aluminium die-cast chassis, which bears next to the motor also all PCBs that are needed for the control of the turntable. Now, the second layer underneath is made out of BMC. This is short for bulk molding compound. It's an industrial material out of fiber and resin that is very rigid and very stiff. So it adds up to the total resonance frequency. At the bottom of the turntable, we've got heavyweight rubber that is also soothing the whole chassis. And on top, I've been already talking about it, we've got this 10 millimeter thick, meticulously hairline brushed aluminium plate that is adding additional weight. I mean, 10 millimeter, come on, this is a lot of weight.
I can tell you it's heavy. I tried lifting this turntable and it's not light.
No, by the way, it's 18 kilograms all in total. That is really heavy. Yeah. So 4 different layers with 4 different resonance frequencies. This adds up to a totally stiff chassis, really free of any resonance. Sorry.
That sounds perfect. So then what else is left in the kill the vibration engineering aspect is the legs, right? So we have these feet, these insulator feet. They also should have some technology that helps with this, right? Because some of the vibration can come from the floor, can come from the table, you know. So how do these help to limit outside vibration?
As I say, it absolutely makes no sense to spend such a lot of efforts in a resonance-free platter and chassis if there's vibration coming from outside. So we did a lot of research on these feet. The housing is made of zinc. This is a very, very heavy material that is also very durable. But the really smart feature lies inside. And this is what we call alpha gel. Well, alpha gel, this is a really cool and smart material. So think of a car, think of the shock absorbers. What do? They eat up energy basically by 2 characteristics. First of all, they are kind of elastic, but even more important, they are kind of plastic, means they're eating up a lot of energy. And this is exactly what these feet do. So all vibrations coming outside, either if it's down from the ground, or if it's through the air, is completely absorbed.
Wow, that sounds like excellent. I think the last thing we can mention right now, the last component, one of the most important ones, would be the tone arm, right? So let's wrap up the analysis of the 1210 GAE with the tone arm.
Well, as said at the beginning, the tone arm in its look and overall shape was actually founded in 1979 when the MK2 came to the market. But of course, lots of engineering improvements have been done ever since. So the original tone arms have been made out of aluminium. Here we've got a magnesium tone arm. Well, magnesium, this is even lighter than aluminium and has much better damping characteristics, especially in the mid-range and in the trebles. But it's a material that is not so easy to work with. It easily breaks, for example, so therefore you have to really meticulously treat it. So we're cold drawing it in order to even enhance the material quality.
I see. So this is going to be even better for like low resonance and low initial tracking force, or what was it? You were explaining that to me, but I couldn't actually figure it out myself.
That's quite good. You actually call it initial motion sensitivity, and this is due to the special bearings we are using. The bearings are made of aluminium cut housings, and this is what we call a gimbal suspension, where the horizontal and the vertical tracking axis intersect at exactly one point. So this tone arm construction is really optimal for any tracking process of a vinyl record.
Excellent. That sounds like it's a whole, a product thought through and through. Every little part is doing its best to create the perfect audio experience, and I do think it's maybe one of the best 1200 series we've ever made. So I would also add that because it's a limited edition, we also have this little badge here where we have the serial number. So you're going to have for whomever buys it, you're going to have an engraved version with the unique serial number of it. And before we actually jump into the last element, which is the JT-1210 dedicated cartridge made especially for this turntable, right, by Nagaoka Company, I would like us to have a look at a video message recorded by Ms. Nagaoka, the CEO of Nagaoka Company. Please.
Hello everyone, I'm Kai Nagaoka, President of Nagaoka Corporation. We just celebrated our 80th anniversary this year. Let me start by thanking Mr. Itani and the Technics team for their hard work and true team spirit. This partnership has created a beautiful collaboration between our two companies, and I'm so proud that it will provide a first-class listening experience to you and other audiophiles all around the world. I hope you all enjoy the exciting product announcement for the Nagaoka JT-1210 and Technics SL-1210 GAE today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nagaoka, for your kind message. And now, Frank, let's talk a bit about the JT-1210 cartridge and its technical specification and how it perfectly fits the 1210 GAE.
Let's do that. Well, the JT-1210 is a moving magnet, an MM system that was specifically designed for the usage together with the SL-1210 GAE. This being from Technics side, because Technics engineers have been involved, as well as from Nagaoka side. So that was that collaboration that was specifically leading to this pickup cartridge. Now, as said, it's an MM system. The output voltage is quite practical at 3.0 millivolts. And also the working range, I call it working range, actually the tracking force range is between 1.3 and 1.8 grams, which is quite a practical value, especially in use together with a medium-sized to lighter tone arm that we are using on the SL-1210 GAE.
So because this is a magnesium tone arm, the pickup system is made perfectly to fit with our magnesium tone arm, so it's like the perfect head shell to use for such a turntable, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent. And then you have like a ready-to-play system when you get it such. So I think you can also say that this is a dream audiophile package of the JT-1210 plus SL-1210 GAE. Okay, thank you very much, Frank. I think that this kind of wraps up our product section. Now we have a few questions that we have received from our listeners, from our viewers, and I would like to go through them and maybe give a few answers. And for all of you who are still watching, please keep in mind that the chat is still open for questions, and it's still going to be open for 30 minutes after the end of the webinar, so you can still ask questions and receive answers even after this is over, so don't hesitate. So, second, let's see. So, are you ready?
I'm more than ready.
Perfect. The first question for you is, looking at the JT-1210 and formally comparing it to other Nagaoka high-grade systems such as MP300 or MP500, it looks very different. What is the reason for this?
Well, as said at the entry of our presentation, the Nagaoka brand is celebrating their 80th anniversary this year. And we know they are releasing a new series of pickup cartridge systems in this year. So now what is very special about the JT-1210 is this is the first system that has the design of this new series. In other words, all potential customers for the 1210 GAE, they are very, very happy to see and to use this pickup system for the first time.
So it's like a preview, right? A preview of what's to come for Nagaoka, and this is the first version of it, the first time you see a product from the new range.
That's what it is.
Excellent, like an extra little prize. I think we have a question here. Which price level can we expect from the SL-1210 GAE?
The SL-1210 GAE will be around 4,500 euros.
Including the JT-1210 cartridge, right? So the full package.
Sure.
Exactly. Okay. And we can get this, I suppose, at Technics dealers and like different hi-fi dealers within the Technics network, right?
Absolutely. The 1210 GAE will be distributed via our specialist Technics dealer network all around Europe.
Excellent. Next and last question we will be answering during this session. How do you foresee the trend of turntables in general? So I think this refers more to market trend. And for the next 1, 2, 3 years, how do we see the market growing or progressing, so to speak?
Well, the market figures of turntables, as they are per today, look very, very, very confident. If we look at a trend in general, turntable sales are not only stable, they're even going up. And the same way, if you look at vinyl sales, it's basically the same. Vinyl sales is going up the same way. So it's nothing else than really look into the future with kind of confidence.
Yeah, so this is great news for us. That means we're still going to go strong with our turntable brand, so perfect news. Now, we've promised to our viewers, we teased a little surprise, and we promised a little unveiling as well at the end, after the 1210 GAE. And it has come time for that. Unfortunately, we don't have the product right here because it's still in an early stage of development. But we want to take this chance to announce the first integrated amplifier of the new generation of Technics. Frank, please tell us, what is this all about? What is the special announcement?
So the new thrilling product that we will introduce most probably towards the end of the year is going to be called SUR-1000, and by the letter R you can already conceive it's within the reference series. It's going to be actually a reference series integrated amplifier.
That sounds excellent so far, Frank. I'll let you finish on that point. But first, let's hear a few words from the brand director of Technics, Ms. Michiko Ogawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Michiko Ogawa, and I am the Vice President of Appliance Company, in charge of the Technics business. I would like to extend my thanks to all the participants for your time, the thoughtful questions you have sent us, and your enthusiasm for the products we are launching. This year, we celebrate our 55th anniversary, more than half a century of absolute dedication to high-fidelity audio. And for a better way to celebrate the past than looking towards the future, our direction is to develop innovative proprietary technologies based on our research and engineering expertise. The same way the direct drive motor put Technics at the forefront of the turntable market decades ago, I want to present to you the first glimpse of our new Technics SL-1200 integrated amplifier. I will now leave you in the capable hands of Frank-san to give you a few more details, and I hope keep you enthusiasm about the future launch. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you very much for your kind words, Ms. Ogawa. And now, on to Frank. Let's hit a few of the headlines. We cannot reveal too much because this product is still in development, but let's say a few of the things that make us believe this is one of the best products and the best amplifiers we've ever made. Show us the highlights. That's something to whet the appetite of our audience.
That's what we should do. As said, we can't reveal too many details today because this product is still in development phase. But looking at the Technics amplifier design, the SUR-1000 is going to be a typical Technics amplifier, and this means it has the Geno engine on board, which is basically the Technics amplifier module, and it also has a cool technology like LAPC. Well, LAPC, this is a technique that perfectly marries the speaker with the amplifier by the measurement of the speaker's response to the amplifier for a perfect phase response. But now, even more, we've done lots of research in the improving of amplifiers, and we did especially lots of efforts to look at the distortion that an amplifier is causing, especially by the speaker's response. So we invented a technology that is called ADCT. It is active distortion cancelling technology. You actually can't do that on an analog amplifier because you cannot measure the actual distortion, but you can do at a Technics amplifier. But I don't want to reveal too much on this point. Next to ADCT, we also invented a technique called advanced speed silent power supply. So when we're talking about the power supply is actually the heart of the amplifier. So this has to produce all the power the amplifier sends to the speaker. Now, speakers can be really nasty. They can have a response back to the amplifier called electromotive force. Now, by the advanced speed silent power supply, we can actually react perfectly to the speaker's kickback to the amplifier and still deliver enough energy into the speaker, even if the speaker has a very, very low impedance. And finally, we also have spent many thoughts on how to optimize the phono EQ. Now, we have something special like the response optimizer, which flattens the response and perfectly marries the pickup cartridge to the amplifier. And finally, we have something like the crosstalk canceller, which evens up the crosstalk individually, pickup cartridge by pickup cartridge. So you basically can marry this amplifier with all potential pickups that are on the market.
That sounds excellent, Frank, and I'm sure that these bits and bytes will whet the appetite of our viewers. Now, unfortunately, our event has to come to an end. We thank you very much for your participation and for your time and attention. We'll see on the screen, you'll see an email address, press.events@eu.panasonic.com. Please feel free to send us all your inquiries and questions or anything that we could answer and help with at that email address, and we'll make our best efforts to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, and I wish you an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.